I'm 78 years old, and last week I got a phone call from a woman I haven't spoken to in maybe 15 years. She was organizing a reunion for the company I worked at for 22 years, the place where I gave everything I had. She apologized right away, said she wasn't sure she had the right number. Then she asked if I was still in touch with anyone from back then. I told her no. She said that was fine, that most people had lost touch. Then she asked if I'd be interested in coming anyway. There'd be food, drinks, a slideshow, a chance to reconnect. I told her I'd think about it. I won't go. Because here's what I realized sitting there after I hung up. I spent over 2 decades trying to prove myself to people who can't even remember if I'm alive. I don't mean that to sound bitter. It's just the truth. And it took me this long to see it clearly. When I was younger, maybe 25 or so, I got hired at a mid-sized firm downtown. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. Good benefits. A desk by a window. My parents were proud. I was proud too, honestly. I thought I'd made it. The job itself wasn't complicated. I worked in operations, kept things running, made sure the right people had what they needed when they needed it. But the culture there, man, it was something else. Everyone was always performing, always trying to be seen, trying to get noticed by the managers, the executives, the people upstairs who barely knew your name. I got swept up in it almost immediately. I started staying late, coming in early, volunteering for projects that weren't mine. I'd say yes to everything because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. I thought that's how you got ahead. And for a while, it worked. I got a couple raises, a bigger office, a title that sounded better at parties. But the thing nobody tells you is that once you start playing that game, you can't stop. Because the second you ease up, someone else is right there, ready to take your spot. So you keep going. You keep pushing. You tell yourself it's temporary, that once you get to a certain level, it'll be different. You'll have more control, more time. That never happened. I was 32 when my daughter was born. Her name is Emily. She's 50 now, lives in Oregon with her husband and 2 kids I barely know. But back then, she was this tiny, perfect thing. And I remember holding her in the hospital and thinking, okay, this changes everything. I'm going to be different now. I'm going to be there. And I meant it. I really did. But I was also up for a promotion. And there was a big project starting that quarter. And my boss had mentioned my name in a meeting, said I was someone they could count on. I didn't want to let him down, didn't want to lose momentum. So I kept working the same hours, kept saying yes to the same things. My wife handled most of the nights, most of the mornings, most of everything, really. I told myself it was fine because I was providing. I was building a future. I was doing what a man was supposed to do. But what I was really doing was choosing the approval of people I didn't even like over the people I loved. I missed her first steps. I heard about them when I got home at 8:30, after she was already asleep. My wife told me over reheated dinner. She didn't say it with anger, just fact, like she'd accepted it already. I told myself I'd make it up to her, to both of them. I didn't. Years started to blur together. Promotions came and went. Titles changed. The office moved buildings twice. I kept working, kept grinding. I was good at what I did, and people told me so. My boss would clap me on the shoulder and say I was indispensable. My coworkers would joke that I was married to the job. I laughed along. But the truth is I was terrified. Terrified that if I slowed down, if I stopped proving myself, I'd become invisible. I'd become replaceable. And I couldn't let that happen. Because if I wasn't valuable at work, then what was I? I didn't know how to answer that. Emily grew up. She played soccer for a few years. I made it to maybe 3 games total. I always had a reason. A meeting I couldn't miss. A deadline that couldn't move. She stopped asking me to come after a while. I told myself she understood. She didn't. My wife used to leave notes on the counter, little reminders. Emily's recital is Thursday. Parent-teacher conference next week. Don't forget anniversary dinner. I'd see them, nod to myself, fully intending to show up. But then something would come up at work, something urgent, something that needed me, and I'd choose it, every single time. When Emily was 16, she stopped talking to me much. Not in an angry way, just in a distant way. Like I was a guy who lived in the house but wasn't really part of the family. I noticed, but I didn't do anything about it. I told myself it was normal teenage stuff, that she'd come around. I was 51 when my wife asked for a divorce. We were sitting in the living room. She'd made coffee. She was calm. She said she didn't hate me. She said she just didn't see the point anymore, that we were roommates, not partners, that she'd spent 26 years waiting for me to show up, and she was tired. I didn't fight it, not because I didn't care, but because I knew she was right. I'd spent so long chasing something that didn't matter, that I'd let the things that did matter slip away. And by the time I realized it, it was already over. She moved out 3 months later. Emily went with her. I stayed in the house, kept working, kept pretending everything was fine, but it wasn't. The company started downsizing when I was 63. They called it restructuring, but everyone knew what it meant. People I'd worked with for decades were let go with 2 weeks' notice and a handshake. I watched it happen. Watched guys who'd given 40 years walked out like they were nothing. I kept my head down, worked harder, thought maybe if I just stayed useful, I'd be safe. I wasn't. They let me go 2 years later, 65, right on schedule. They gave me a plaque and a cake in the break room. My boss made a speech about my dedication and service. People clapped. A few of them hugged me, said we'd stay in touch. We didn't. I haven't heard from a single one of them since. I thought I'd built something there. I thought I'd mattered. I thought the people I'd worked beside for 22 years were my friends. But the second I walked out that door, I disappeared. They moved on, replaced me, forgot I existed, and I can't even blame them. Because that's just how it works. You're valuable until you're not. You're remembered until you're forgotten. I just wish I'd understood that sooner. I'm 78 now. I live alone in a small apartment across town. Emily calls maybe once a month. The conversations are polite but short. She has her own life, her own family. I'm not part of it, not really. And that's my fault. My ex-wife remarried. She seems happy. I'm glad for her. I have no close friends, no one to call when I'm lonely, no one who checks in. I spent so many years trying to impress people who didn't care about me that I never built anything real. I never invested in the things that last, and now I'm running out of time. I think about my daughter a lot, about the moments I missed, the conversations we never had, the relationship we could have built if I'd just been there, if I'd just chosen her over a meeting, over a project, over the approval of people whose names I can barely remember now. I think about my ex-wife, too, about the life we could have had if I'd actually been present, if I'd valued her the way she deserved. She gave me so many chances, so many opportunities to change, and I wasted everyone. I can't fix it now. That's the part that keeps me up at night. I can't go back. I can't undo 40 years of choosing wrong. I can't make my daughter's childhood different. I can't rebuild a marriage that's been over for decades. I can't reconnect with people who don't remember I exist. All I can do is sit here and live with it. And I guess that's why I'm telling you this. Because if you're young, if you still have time, I need you to understand something. The people you're trying to impress don't care about you. Not really. Your boss will replace you. Your coworkers will forget you. The company you're killing yourself for will move on the second you're gone. And all those hours you spent, all those moments you sacrificed, they won't mean anything. But the people you're ignoring, the ones waiting for you at home, they won't wait forever. Your kids will grow up. Your partner will get tired. Your parents will die. And one day you'll look around and realize you traded everything that mattered for nothing that lasted. I know you think you have time. I thought that too. I thought I'd make it up later. I thought there'd be a point where I could slow down, where I could finally be present. But later never came. It just kept getting pushed further and further away until it was gone. Don't do what I did. Don't spend your life chasing the approval of people who won't remember your name. Don't sacrifice your family for a job that'll forget you. Don't wait until you're 78 and alone to realize what you lost. Because you can't get it back. I can't get it back. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because it's the truth. And because I wish someone had told me when I still had a chance to listen. I wasted 40 years. 40 years trying to prove I was valuable to people who didn't value me. 40 years choosing work over love, over presence, over life. And now all I have is regret and an empty apartment and a phone that barely rings. That's it. That's what I built. So if this means something to you, if any part of this feels familiar, I'm asking you to stop. Just stop. Look at your life. Look at who you're spending it for. And ask yourself if it's worth it. Because I promise you, it's not. I'll be gone soon. Maybe a few years. Maybe less. And when I go, there won't be many people who notice. I'll be remembered as the guy who worked a lot, who was always busy, who never showed up. That's my legacy. Don't let it be yours. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.